So we're going to run through the 8-week health reset. This is take 56. Basically, over the next 8 weeks, we're going to not try to change everything. We'll try to sort of pick one habit that'll make the biggest impact. It's going to be different for everyone. So some people will focus on nutrition, some people will focus on sleep. Kind of just depends. Why are we doing this? We're kind of doing this as a little bit of a kickstart, kind of a catalyst for some good habits going into the mid-year. And the two options that we have, so we essentially have the habit reset, which is included in your membership. So it's just picking one habit, mastering that. The way we'll do it, we'll use Train Heroic. So on the app, each day, it'll basically say habit tracker. You'll kind of tick if you did do the habit that you're kind of focusing on, or if you didn't. This will be a way that we can kind of keep you guys accountable. The other option we have is the paid nutritional coaching. So if you don't know, Ravi has a degree in nutrition. So he can basically offer personalized nutritional programming depending on what you're focusing on. So if that's just feeling better or trying to gain more muscle or getting more toned, he can set you up the right way. We'll run through 5 habits that we recommend, which aren't nutrition-based. Ravi will cover some nutrition-based ones. If it was in order of importance, sleep would be the first one. I think it makes the biggest difference for a lot of people. So normally trying to focus on at least 7 hours per night would be a good target. Most of the evidence kind of suggests 7 to 9 hours for most people would be best. The second one, exercise, especially when you don't want to. So there is some evidence that shows that the effects of exercise can kind of negate the effects of sleep loss. So something like glucose sensitivity, so how sensitive your body is to glucose in your bloodstream. If you do exercise, we basically can help negate when you don't sleep. You can lose that sensitivity, and it can be something that can make you put on weight a lot easier and, for instance, crave things like sugar. Exercise, especially when you're tired, is a great kind of habit to focus on. The next one, we've got no phone 30 minutes before bed or after waking. So before bed, the blue lights that you get from the phone and the stimulation you get is probably not the best thing for your sleep quality. So we do something like reading or stretches or listening to music instead. Same thing after waking up. Instead of being reactive, if we can be a little bit more proactive, so do some other things other than reaching for the phone. The fourth thing would be 10,000 steps per day. So if you do have a sedentary job, this would be something that we would recommend because it can make a big difference just in kind of general mood and kind of health benefits. The next one would be hydration. So if we're looking at, for most people, kind of at least 2 liters per day, 2 to 3 liters would be kind of the recommendation. That kind of depends on your weights and your activity levels. And an easy thing there is to get something like a drink bottle. So you basically have that at your disposal. It kind of remind you to drink throughout the day. So this would basically be 5 kind of recommendations. You don't have to do one of these habits, but if you're not sure what to do, choosing one of these I think would be a good idea or a good starter. Ravi's going to run through some of the nutrition stuff now.
Good.
Yep.
For the nutrition options, I've broken it down. We've got 2 more of the guidelines, which you guys are welcome to do for free. And then lastly, we've got the paid option, which I'll cover in a bit. So first on the free guidelines, we've got it for if you're new to dieting. So if you've never done any sort of nutrition plan before, never followed any sort of diet, we're going to try and keep like the previous goals as simple as possible. So I've got some examples of the goals that you could potentially follow here, something like 2 to 3 serves of protein or fruits and veggies in short instead of buying that out. That obviously doesn't have to be your lunches. That could be dinner. Waking up and getting 30-40 grams of protein at breakfast, or swapping out one of the Uber Eats meals that you'd have during the week for a prepared meal at home. Again, if you have a chat to either Sash or myself, we can give you a hand in the specifics of what that goal would look like. Just a note on these ones in terms of picking your amount of goals, especially for the nutrition stuff, but applies for all of them. 1 is good. 2 is probably to 3 or more. It's going to be too overwhelming. You've got to remember that the idea of this is to create some habits that we can form over the 8 weeks, but maintain for a longer period of time. So this option, again, is the guidelines, but more so if you followed some kind of nutrition plan before, maybe you've done a diet in the past, but you might be a bit out of practice. So this is, we are doing some kind of measure, still not doing any sort of weighing, tracking per se. So for this method, we're just using a simple form of portion control where we can use our hands for the portion control. So example of this for a weight loss diet would be a palm of lean proteins, fistful of carbohydrates, cupped handfuls of vegetables or fruit, and then a thumb-sized portion of fats. Obviously, we're going to kind of like moderate this and alter depending on your goals, body size. Again, coaches can help you out with this. Specific nutrition cheat sheets. This has just got examples of your how you can form the meals with your specifics on your proteins, carbs, fats, veggies. So that'll be shared to the Facebook group as well as just clicking the link in there. On top of that, we've got to kind of monitor one sort of metric just to make sure we're staying on tracks for the 8-week period, picking 1 to 2 metrics. So that could look like your weight or your gym performance or something, how you're eating as well. If you are doing this option, aiming for something realistic, like aiming to hit 80 to 90% of the meals on the plan over the course of the week would be a good number to aim for. And then finally, we have got the paid coaching option. So this is a really good opportunity for you guys to work with me. If you haven't worked with a nutritionist before, what this course would look like is 8 weeks of specific macronutrient guidelines. If you have no idea what that, essentially, I'm going to be telling you how much to eat. And then included on this coaching course, we're going to be doing a sample of the meal plan. I'm going to give you recipe ideas so you make sure you're not getting bored eating the stuff you should be doing. We've got a weekly check-in just to make sure we're staying on track. And then I'm going to teach you the mechanisms of how we're forming a healthy diet. So this is just to ensure that you haven't got a diet to follow for 8 weeks. You've got things you can kind of utilize for the rest of your life just to make sure we're staying on track with that. For everyone who's interested in doing any sort of nutrition guidelines, you're going to have access to the Facebook group for the course of the 8 weeks. In there, you can drop any questions that you've got, and I'll include some further nutrition resources in there as well.
So what do we do from here? If you want to jump on, so the habit reset or the nutrition coaching, let Ravi know and myself know, and then we'll basically get you set up. For the coaching, Ravi will handle that for nutrition, kind of add you to the Facebook group, all that different stuff. I think that's it. All good, Rav?
Yeah, all good.